Jake had been living in the small rental house for 3 years now, raising his daughter Emma alone. His wife had left when Emma was just a baby and he had learned to manage on his own. Work at the construction site paid the bills and his mother helped with Emma when his shifts ran long. Life was simple and predictable until the day new neighbors moved in next door. He first saw her unloading boxes from a small sedan. She was younger than him, maybe in her late 20s, with dark hair and a determined look on her face. What caught his attention, though, was that she was clearly pregnant. Very pregnant. And she was alone, struggling with a heavy box. Jake walked over without thinking twice. "Hey, let me help you with that." She looked up, startled. For a moment he saw wariness in her eyes, but then she nodded. "Thank you. I'm trying to pace myself, but there's so much to move. I'm Jake. I live right there," he said, pointing to his house. "And I've got some time before I need to pick up my daughter. Let me give you a hand." She smiled for the first time. "I'm Diana, and honestly I could really use the help." For the next 2 hours Jake hauled boxes and furniture while Diana directed where things should go. She didn't talk much about herself and he didn't push. He knew what it was like to want privacy about painful things. When they finished, Diana offered him water, and they sat on her front porch in the evening light. "You didn't have to do all that," she said quietly, "but I'm grateful." Jake shrugged. "Neighbors help neighbors. That's how it should be." Diana looked down at her hands. "My boyfriend left when I told him about the baby. His exact words were that he wasn't ready to be tied down." Her voice was steady, but Jake could hear the hurt underneath. "I'm sorry," Jake said, and meant it. "That's his loss, though. Being a parent is the best thing that ever happened to me." She looked at him with surprise. "You have kids?" "A daughter, Emma. She's 5. Her mom left us when she was just a few months old, so I know something about doing this alone. It's hard, but you're stronger than you think." Diana's eyes filled with tears. "I'm terrified. What if I can't do this?" Jake leaned forward. "You will, because you have to, and because you love that baby already. I can see it. That's all that really matters." Over the following weeks, Jake and Diana became friends. He'd check on her after work, making sure she had what she needed. She'd sometimes watch Emma for an hour when his mother couldn't. It was an easy, comfortable friendship built on mutual respect and understanding. One Saturday morning, Jake was making pancakes with Emma when they heard a car door slam next door. Through the window, he saw a well-dressed older couple standing at Diana's door looking upset. He heard raised voices and then Diana crying. "Stay here, sweetie," he told Emma and went outside. Diana was on her porch with tears streaming down her face, while the couple, who he now realized must be her parents, stood rigid and angry. "You've made your choice, Diana," her mother was saying. "If you insist on keeping this baby and refusing to marry someone suitable, then we cannot support you. You're embarrassing the family." "I won't marry someone I don't love just to save face," Diana said, her voice shaking. "And I'm keeping my baby." Her father shook his head. "Then you're on your own. Don't come to us when you need help." They turned and saw Jake standing there. Diana's mother gave him a disapproving look before they walked to their car and drove away. Diana collapsed onto her porch steps, sobbing. Jake sat down beside her, not saying anything, just being there. Emma had come out too, and she walked over and patted Diana's hand. "Don't cry," Emma said in her small voice. "My daddy says everything works out if you have love." Diana pulled Emma into a gentle hug and cried harder. But after a while the tears stopped and she looked at Jake with red, swollen eyes. "How do you do it?" she asked. "How do you stay so calm when everything falls apart?" Jake smiled sadly. "I don't always, but I learned that you can't control what other people do. You can only control how you respond. Your parents made their choice. Now you make yours. What do you want?" Diana put her hand on her belly. "I want my baby to grow up knowing they're loved. I want to be a good mother. I want to build a life that's honest and real, even if it's hard." "Then that's what you'll do," Jake said simply. "And you won't be alone. You've got neighbors who care about you." 3 weeks later, Diana went into labor. In the middle of the night, Jake heard her knocking frantically on his door. His mother came over to stay with Emma, and he drove Diana to the hospital. He sat in the waiting room for hours until a nurse came out smiling. "She's asking for you." In the hospital room, Diana looked exhausted, but radiant, holding a tiny baby wrapped in a pink blanket. Jake, meet Lily, she said softly. Lily, this is the man who saved us. Jake looked at the baby and felt his heart swell. She's perfect, Diana. You did good. I couldn't have done any of this without you, Diana said. You showed me what real kindness looks like, what real strength is. You never judged me, never made me feel less than. You just helped. Jake shook his head. You did the hard part. I just carried some boxes and drove you to the hospital. But Diana reached for his hand. No. You gave me something to believe in when I had lost faith in people. You showed me that not everyone leaves. 6 months passed. Diana's parents never came around, but she built a life anyway. She found work she could do from home. Jake's mother adored Lily and would watch both girls together. Jake fixed things around Diana's house, and she cooked dinners they'd share on weekends. Emma and Lily became like sisters. One evening after the girls were asleep, Diana and Jake sat on his back porch watching fireflies. I need to tell you something, Diana said. My family has money. A lot of it. My parents wanted me to marry someone from their social circle to expand the business. When I refused and then got pregnant by someone they considered beneath us, they cut me off. Jake nodded, listening. But my grandmother left me a trust fund that I get access to next month when I turn 30. I'll have enough to never worry about money again. She turned to look at him. I'm telling you because I don't want secrets between us. And because I want you to know that when I could have used money to solve my problems, I chose to live honestly instead. You taught me that. Jake smiled. Money doesn't make you a good person, Diana. You were already good. You just needed to remember it. I want to do something with it, she said. Something that helps other single parents who are struggling. Maybe a community center with childcare and job training. Would you help me build it? Jake looked at this remarkable woman who had come into his life as a scared neighbor and become family. I'd be honored. 2 years later, the Lily Rose Community Center opened its doors. It provided free childcare, job placement, and support groups for single parents. Jake managed the construction and maintenance. Diana ran the programs. Emma and Lily played in the yard that Jake had built. Diana's parents showed up one day unannounced. They stood in the lobby looking at photos of families who had been helped. Diana walked out to meet them holding Lily's hand. We were wrong, her mother said quietly. We thought we knew what was best, but we didn't understand what mattered. Can you forgive us? Diana looked at Jake, who was standing nearby. He gave her an encouraging nod. Yes, Diana said. But things are different now. I built a life based on love and respect. If you want to be part of it, you need to respect that. Her father nodded. We understand. We'd like to try. That Sunday, they all had dinner together. Diana's parents, Jake and Emma, Diana and Lily. It wasn't perfect. But it was real. And as Jake watched everyone talking and laughing, he thought about how one act of kindness, carrying boxes for a pregnant stranger, had changed all their lives. He learned that family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's the people who show up when you need them. The ones who stay when things get hard. The ones who believe in you when you've stopped believing in yourself. And love? Love is built in the quiet moments, in the helping hands and patient hearts, in choosing to see the best in people even when they can't see it themselves. If this story reminded you that kindness can change everything, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell us in the comments about someone who showed up for you when you needed it most. Your story could inspire someone else to be that person for another.